Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 110.
110. It's binary.
110 officially in the books. How you doing, man?
Every day's a holiday, every night, the 4th of July.
Okay. Fireworks in the sky?
Mm-hmm. It's just good. I'm doing all right,
Awesome, man.
Been planning trips.
Yeah. Where are you going? Are you just, you got to stay in the United States, right?
I've been everywhere in the U.S. I don't want to say
everywhere.
I hate
Have
the
you
US.
been to Mount Rushmore?
I've definitely been to Mount Rushmore twice, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to quiz you real quick. How about what other? Okay. Have you been to the World's Fair in Memphis?
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you been to Disney World?
Yep. Disney World, Disneyland. What's up?
Both
dude?
of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. We got to go a little harder. Have you been? What's the name of the corner of all the states? Like you can stand on the border of all the states.
Yeah. What is that? I did that too in 2014.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to Seattle?
Yeah, many times.
You are just the traveler, dude. You got me. You win. You won this game.
Yeah, I can name. I haven't been to New Orleans.
You been to DC?
No, I haven't been to DC actually. Because I have zero interest. I don't want to go there whatsoever.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what? It's like a shitty place you wouldn't want to go.
Yeah. And I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii. So.
Okay. Yeah. Hawaii was nice.
Yeah.
Super
nice.
I
bet. Yeah, so I've been I've scheduled a trip to Peru because I think it'd be really cool to see Machu Picchu, while no one can go, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of booked it for October, and as my job, before people freak out, I self-quarantined 100% of the time anyways, so I'm hoping that they'll let us in, but this week, the end of last month, they extended the shutdown, so they're not letting anybody in still, and then this last week they chartered a jet to fly anyone from the United States back home. So it's not looking great. Yeah. We're pretty terrible in terms of Corona right now.
Well, you can always spend that travel money on.
Well, it's all booked. So the only way you can do it, some of the airlines are doing a thing where if you can't go because of Corona, you can just make it 2021 instead with no charge.
Credit.
Yeah. And so they don't charge you any fees or anything like that. So it's all booked. So I don't get to save any money if I don't get to go this year.
It sucks.
I know.
Yeah. It'd be fun to go, man. I didn't this is the first year we didn't go on a family vacation too. We usually go somewhere. No, we haven't got anything either.
You can just go back to Palm Springs. I'm sure that'd be fine. Just rent a house.
Palm Springs was okay. So let's get into some Diablo stuff.
What else is going on? All right. So
today's my anniversary.
Oh, what'd you get me?
Oh, not our anniversary.
Oh,
that
doesn't matter. I don't want to waste any time talking about it.
Yeah, me either. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Yeah. We got some Diablo stuff to talk about, but let's hit the poll.
Yeah, we're going to get the Diablo stuff out of the way first. But yeah, let me post the poll real quick in chat so you guys can go vote in case you didn't get to. This one was juicy. I had the wrong poll in the YouTube video description, and there's about 50 people to let me know. So people were excited to vote on this one.
They love the polls, man.
But yeah, last week we asked which set, if you guys didn't watch last week, you missed last week, I just kind of did a quick scan of what I thought that maybe the most underused sets were for every class, and if we had to pick one of those, and there's one set for every class, which of those do you want to see get buffed? So the options are Immortal Kings from Barbarian, Roland's Legacy from Crusader, Natalia's Vengeance from DH, Juliana's Stratagem from Monk, Tragul's Avatar from God Tier Necro, and Zunimasa's Haunt from the Witch Doctor. The name escaped me almost.
That one class nobody plays.
And then Firebirds finally from the Wizard. What do you want, and what do you think won?
I think I'm gonna man, I think it's either Firebirds or Immortal Kings that's gonna win. I say IK. I'm gonna pick IK.
Okay.
I think it won.
You think
and
it
then
won?
if I were to pick one, I would. Man, see, the problem is Demon Hunter just got so much love this season. I would say Natalia's if Demon Hunter hadn't been this season. So I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna say IK is gonna win, and IK is my vote.
Okay. This might come as a shock.
Okay.
But personally, I would like Dragoons.
Dragoons. Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
It is a garbage tier set right now. So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Dragoon might win.
Though. That's my thing. That's why it's kind of like I would be with you, but they just got so much love. It's like we gotta share. We gotta spread.
I'm gonna say Dragoon might have won too, because there's a lot of Necros,
Necro fans
in this community. So let's see. Don't let me down. Oh wow.
Oh man.
Okay, so Juliana's taking the cake. A
lot of Monk fans.
Yeah.
32 IK and Firebirds are tied. Yeah, I figured those would be high. Those would be hot.
But Juliana's coming rank 1. Immortal Call tied for rank 2 with Firebirds. I mean, honestly, like if I'm being as fair as I can be, I think Firebirds wins for me. If I'm being fair, because Firebirds has been really bad for a really, really long time.
Yeah, they haven't buffed it since
and people love Wizard. I would say Zuni, because Zuni's garbage and it's been garbage for a long time.
Here's the problem with this is Firebirds doesn't need to get buffed first. They need to buff the Hydra set. They need to actually make it good. Like the Hydra set needs to get buffed first before they touch Firebirds. Save Firebirds for later. Please don't do them both in the same patch. That's you're just wasting your content.
I don't know. You think because you say they, kind of adjust some numbers on the Hydra set. I doubt that it's going to get a playstyle change. So you're not really even if it gets a power creep, it's not really going to feel exciting or new. It's just going to be oh, okay, this set's decent now.
Well, I haven't played it, so it'd be exciting and new to me. No, I don't know. Yeah, I understand. I feel what you're saying. If you like or dislike the Hydra playstyle, that's not going to change. But I just feel like it was never really utilized because it's not the best speeds, it's not the best push, it's not the best T16s. What are you going to use the Hydra set for other than just to use it because it's new? So make it at least powerful, and then people can use it. So I think, and maybe that means a redesign.
Maybe
when you're saying that these sets get some love, man, I think redesign is part of that.
Maybe
I hope it's part of that.
Yeah.
Like IK, would you if we were talking Immortal King real quick, so Immortal King has you use your Berserker's Wrath and then your Call of the Ancients at the same time to get a buff. That's not very exciting.
No.
If we think about it. That's pretty two passive abilities. You're not even doing anything. So let's make it have something on there. Let's have it do something.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather it's Immortal King, so I think it should focus around the pets. That's what it is.
But I don't know. I just think
they should make you turn into thick Santa 100% uptime. So
yeah, let's focus on the pets. Let's make it more interesting and maybe I don't know. Find ways to make the pets fun and enjoyable. Make the pets. I mean, how boring would it be if you had your pets mirror an ability like the Necro Simulacrums did? Okay, you cast Hammer of the Ancients, your pets also cast Hammer of the Ancients or something.
I mean, it would be cool if it wasn't flat, right? That's the problem, I think, with Wizard. It's the problem with Witch Doctor. It's the problem with Monk, is that they have these, every set can buff Fire Bats. Every set can buff fucking, a Wave of Light. And that's so bad. So I think that if Immortal Kings is maybe the guys clone your shit, but maybe it's Weapon Throw. Maybe it's some random stuff, it's spear. Who knows, right? It could be fun. Shut the fuck up about Whirlwind. I swear to God.
Listen.
You always. What?
I know, I did this just to trigger you. What if you're spinning, right? And then your pets are also spinning and you're just
Triple
fucking whirlwinds
spin.
everywhere,
Oh my
dude.
God.
It would be quad because you'd have 3 pets plus
Oh
you. You'd have
gosh.
4 spins on the screen. Listen, all the Barb fans right now are going, God damn, P-Child's on something right now. This is great
Just
stuff.
stop. Just stop.
Listen, can we make that the poll for next week? I want to see if people like that idea.
If you could spin, would you like to spin 1 time? 2 times?
Yeah.
3 times?
4 times spin?
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Stop.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what love we get, but I think, I just don't want to see them do multiple sets in this unless they're going to continue that trend. Like if they're going to do, 2 sets a class or something, then like keep that going, keep that momentum for the following patches. So it's not just like, well, you just did a shit ton in season 22 and now 23 it's like we're getting double goblins and whatever, like nothing, So.
Man, the more I look at this, like Firebirds did have a time where it was the best. I don't know that Roland's ever had a season where it was the best. Did it?
They buffed it, but they also buffed the Thorn set in the same patch, didn't they?
Probably.
Was that and I think it overshadowed it. They did buff Roland's, and it had like some kind of speed play.
I don't know. But
I don't think it ever passed up Condemn or the Thorns. I think it was still overshadowed slightly. But that being said, like when was the last time Uliana's was good? Like I don't fucking remember.
It's like back when Quinn played Diablo.
Yeah, it was like back in like early seasons,
season
right?
4, season 5.
Yeah. So that's and Natalia's too. I don't remember Natalia's being good ever. So I'm sure it was at some point, but I can't even remember that far back. So
it was so good back then. But yeah, it's like now so now there's God DH, which I still hate that acronym.
I do too.
But it's like a strafe build. And so now I feel like, well, people will be less hyped if Natalia got like love because it is strafe as well. But Natalia is a better strafe set.
So yeah, man. And that's a whole nother rant.
Right.
The lag that the God DH creates.
Sure.
Like it's game breaking lag to me. And maybe I'm just nitpicky, but it really bugs me. Like every time I play it, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm rubber banding all over the place every time. And it's because I always play group. I always play group play. So there's always 4 of us. And I would say 3 of the 4 players are the new God set. So when you get 4 DHs, it's just lag city, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, on to the next poll.
So this one we're going to touch on a little bit later, and we have a discussion about something else. But I wanted to ask this: if Diablo 4 is pay to win in any regard, will you still try it? And there's people that would argue like stash tabs, and the currency stash tabs that you get in Path of Exile. Some people argue that that's pay to win. So we're talking about any kind of form of pay to win. Will you still try it? That
would piss me off if they did stash tabs in a $60 title. If Diablo 4 isn't free and you got to buy stash tabs, oh my God, I would be a little pissed off. So
true.
But are we gonna hit that up?
Yeah, we're gonna hit that up a little bit later because
I got something I want to add to that conversation.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna note that so I don't forget.
Okay. But some quick Diablo 3 news. You look at the leaderboards, shock of shocks. It seems like most classes are above 140, utilizing that juicy seasonal theme. I saw a clip of, our boy Wudijo getting a solo 150. So good job, Wudijo. The tornadoes just literally kill the boss, which is pretty insane.
Yep. Somebody told me it took him like over 5,000 keys to get that.
Really?
Something. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or if they were just randomly making numbers up. But
if that's true, goddamn, Wudijo, you are a robot.
Yeah, that's insane. No emotion when he did it. He got it, and he's just like...
Puts sunglasses on and takes a bite of a phallic-shaped vegetable.
Oh, my
like
God.
A boss. Well done.
That's pretty funny. If you guys are listening, we're watching the clip.
Yeah.
At the end. Yeah, that
Who
vegetable bite
eats
was
a
pretty fun.
cucumber like
I
raw?
I kind of thought that was like supposed to be a innuendo. You
Oh,
know,
really?
am I wrong? Like that's I'm like, why? Who else does that? Like who? I've never seen somebody take a bite of a cucumber
But it
like
looks
that.
like there's already bites taken off of it. I
Maybe
don't
I thought
understand.
it was maybe like I win, kind of like a you stick it to the man kind of thing.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know,
dude.
man. I don't know. That seems really nasty to me though. But
It does.
maybe that's a thing.
Maybe.
So
But
yeah,
yeah, so that was pretty much. I mean, there's not. It's been crickets. You know, we haven't seen anything since that post we talked about that Rich made last week. No blue posts since then, so it's been
mhm.
pretty quiet in the
It's been
Diablo universe.
quiet, but
Yeah,
I
but other
think
times, right? Mhm.
I think things are moving behind the scenes right now.
Oh,
Oh, I think they are. I think so did you see the Diablo Immortal mid-year update?
I did.
So this is my listen, we're gonna hit on it, but we got the Diablo Immortal mid-year update
Okay.
that just got released.
Okay.
And we're gonna talk about in a second the Diablo Immortal China trailer that just dropped.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some Diablo Immortal or show some screenshots of some different character models
Sure.
that they're using for Immortal now.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think that Immortal's about to go beta or potentially drop.
Yeah.
I would
think
assume they're going to beta first.
the quarterly
But,
investment call. I think that was today. So we'll have to
okay,
listen to that. We won't have anything on that until next week, but there
I
will
didn't
be
even know
something
that
in
was
that
going
too.
down.
I'm sure that we'll talk about
Yeah,
that probably.
that would be cool. So let's talk about this Diablo Immortal mid-year update.
Yeah. You know,
Did
you
you get a
actually
chance to
broke the
read it?
news for this on me, so I haven't really gotten to see this
Okay.
because I had a crazy day
Yeah.
at work.
So what it basically this is from Wyatt Chang, who is
My
if
boy.
you don't know, yeah, if you don't know Wyatt, super awesome dude. But Wyatt is the lead designer on the Diablo Immortal team. That's what his official title is right now. He also did a lot with Diablo 2 for sure. Was he also on the D1 team too? I
I
think
don't.
he was.
I
I
have no
don't
idea.
remember. So
I mostly know him for Diablo 3.
yeah, he was on D2 and D3. Just super. He's into ARPGs. He knows his stuff when it comes to Diablo, and cool dude, really cool guy. So he's kind of the man in charge of Diablo Immortal. And he put a post out, and he's just saying it's been a while since you heard from us, and he wanted to check in and share the development process. And if you haven't seen this, you can. It's literally on the news site on Blizzard's website. But so the thing that I find super interesting in this first, like, so that's the opening paragraph. He's like, "Hey, we just wanted to check in with you guys," and then he has some screenshots of Diablo Immortal. And if you blow these screenshots up, like, honestly, dude, the graphics on this are mobile. It looks better than any ARPG that we play right now. Like graphically, that looks as good as Diablo 3. That looks as good as Path of Exile. It looks as good as this other shit. And I'm just like, okay,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm kind of like, I'm like, all right, I'm impressed a little bit with especially being a mobile game.
Sure.
But he's saying that the team's transition to work from home. It's kind of mirroring some of the Diablo 4 blog that we got. And so they transitioned to work from home, and that was a challenge, and that's going good now. And then now they're doing internal play tests, which is very similar to what the Diablo 14
Yeah.
talked about in their blog. And so they're doing like, Blizzard employees are getting their hands on Immortal, and they're playing it, and they're giving their feedback, and all this kind of stuff. So, it seems like that's a big milestone. They've passed the internal playtest, and I assume if it goes with flying colors, then the next step is going to be beta, public beta, or closed beta. Some kind of
Yeah, probably
beta,
closed. Yeah.
closed beta first, and then maybe eventually they'll open it up to invites, or that's what the close is, but like invites, hopefully to like people like us, like Diablo guys. But it's pretty cool, man. He's saying that he doesn't have a lot of real details. I mean, that was really the big thing. The big thing is like, here, check out these awesome screenshots and vids, and we're doing a closed internal play testing, and if we'll give you more updates soon.
Yeah.
But,
I think
but
that's
graphically,
super interesting. Like that, I don't know, the opening it up across the company, is like I mean, it is a big deal, I guess, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know. I wonder how critical like the company is, or like, is there that internal, like, oh, I want to be nice to another department of a company that I work at.
You're like, oh, this plays like shit, but I'm not going to tell them that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
It's so
I
anonymous.
like
Yeah.
PChild. He works in the Diablo Immortal team, and I'm on like the Diablo 4 team. I like PChild. I want to be like, bro, this is what we've been working on. This is garbage.
Yeah.
Because we're friends, right? Like, so I don't know.
Maybe your friends would give you honest feedback too.
Yeah.
You know, because you're kind of an ass, so I think you probably would be like,
tell you, PChild
you'd
is
be like,
garbage.
PChild, this is garbage. You know what I mean? So maybe you just got to know your people.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I agree with that a little bit though. It depends on how many people they're opening it up to too. Like if they're getting feedback, I guess, from people who probably have no input or investment in the game. So it's like, so they're going to treat it like a consumer base.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, here's the game. What do you think? Like, play it. Tell me what you think, and what could we improve on? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I mean, graphically though, I don't know, man. It looks like it does look really impressive to me for a mobile game. I gotta admit, like I can't think of another. I guess I don't play mobile games, so maybe they've come this far, but this is above what I expected.
It's very zoomed in.
Yes, it is. But I think that's because you're playing on a small ass screen too.
Sure.
So maybe hopefully there's things for that. One of the feedback things that I gave was that they add controller support, because there's some really nice controllers for mobile devices, and you can even hook like PlayStation controllers up to your iPhone and your iPad.
But wouldn't that be like the BlueStacks thing? Like that would
you could probably do it in BlueStacks, I would think too. Like that was another thought I've had, is like, if they don't add controller support, can I emulate it in BlueStacks? Because that would be like god tier. Like it would make.
Well, how else would they implement controller support if it's a phone?
Phones have controllers, like Razer. Razer makes like an actual controller for
like
Android.
Officially support
like they have official drivers and shit. Yeah, exactly. Yep. There's a bunch of companies that make, and they're pretty wicked looking controllers. Like one of the ones is specific phones, but Razer has one and it basically turns your phone into a Switch. Like it looks pretty badass. So so I shared that info and I was like, check out these models of controllers. They support phones and iPads and shit, and hopefully you can get implemented. So I don't know if that's a thing they're even considering, but I hope so.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you touched on, like kind of briefly, is, and I don't know this firsthand, it's just what I heard. So like kind of before I hit it in Diablo was before the Necro, and I guess before the Necro came out, they had a summit, like a community summit, to like come and play the Necromancer, like community Diablo people to come play the Necromancer and give like direct feedback. And they called it like a Necro Summit, I guess. I hope that there is maybe that in the works for something like Diablo Immortal. Because internally, testing at Blizzard, I think that's good, and I'm excited that they're doing that. But I hope that I don't know, because I feel like most community members would like approach of like, we want this to be a really good game, we want this to be a good Diablo game, and so like let's.
I would, if I was invited to a summit like that, I would 100% give honest, best like feedback to try to make it a good product.
Right.
I would say, listen, these things are not going to fly with the community, and I think we'd also have a good touch on the community, how their reactions going to be to it. I honestly, because I feel like even though we got the Diablo 4 announcement, which is what we wanted at BlizzCon 2018, I feel like people are still rooting against Immortal.
Oh yeah,
and I hate to see that, because we got Diablo 4, man. Like it's coming, so like there's no reason to hate on it anymore. Like if we would have gotten the announcements in the reverse order, I don't think there'd be any hate for it at all. I think people would genuinely be like, oh, that's kind of cool,
Yeah, I mean, you look at POE and they did their mobile game announcement at the same time, and like no one's really even talking about it. Like no one gives a shit.
So like I really hope that if the opportunity presents itself, that we can give feedback to make the game good, because I want it to be good. I really do. I want it to succeed. I want it to be fun and stuff. And at least it's something to hold us over until D4 launches. Sure. You know what I mean? So
I'm on the fence.
Well,
like I don't know that I don't know. It's hard to say without sounding toxic.
You're scared of the success because you're afraid it's going to push them to the mobile industry.
Yes.
I get that. And I 100% agree. I think as long as Blizzard can keep its roots and its eyes open and not close its eyes to the amounts of money it could potentially make on mobile, and just like, oh, let's Diablo 4, yeah, it's okay. let's keep making Diablo Immortal 2 and like focus on, you know, Overwatch mobile and like all this crap. Like I'm with you, man. It is scary. It's scary. It's a scary.
Well, it's
You know,
even scarier because it is Blizzard. Because I generally feel like that's why Blizzard makes its decisions, right? That's why Diablo 3 is in the state that it's in, because I mean, there's nothing to generate money. So why would they give?
They could fix that though. That's the problem, man. That's the thing.
But whatever generate the audience they would need to even generate, like sure, if they put in a cash out with Diablo 3 tomorrow, generate revenue, but it'd be like nothing probably.
Yeah, but not now. But if they would have added the next expansion and like they could have rechanged things then.
Maybe
when they added the expansion, they could have put an actual cash shop. That was a real cash shop.
But you always got to think about those people that started Diablo 3 vanilla and it was a garbage game when it came out, and regardless of Diablo 3 expansion 17, they're not going to go back and try it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there is that too.
Yeah, I
always wanted to talk to you about, because we had this discussion, because you're a big WoW guy. Yeah. And we had a discussion on stream. It's like, man, if you think about it, like the way POE's doing games, like this has to be the future, right? Because I'm thinking about my own personal perspective. So POE has set their pace to be, okay, hey, you don't like Harvest, POE Harvest. Guess what? Come back in 3 months. We might have something for you. Whereas I didn't like BFA. Well,
come back in 2 years.
I'll come back in 2 years. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The faster pace is cool, but I also think the amount of content that's put into BFA isn't even close to what a singular league in Path of Exile is. You'd have to take years of leagues to equal the amount of content. You know, I don't know if they can pump content out fast enough. So, you know, like I just don't know if they could pump the content out fast enough. Because like the scale, I don't know, man. It just seems to me like creating a raid or creating a zone in World of Warcraft would be more complex than generating league mechanics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, if they can figure out ways to design these games where they can push out content faster, like, yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the problem with every game. Like, what game doesn't have content issues? As consumers, we'll eat it up as fast as they'll feed it to us, man.
Yeah.
You know, just like us in fast food.
I don't know that Path of Exile has content issues. I mean, if we're thinking of a game that doesn't have content issues.
How often have they introduced new tile sets?
I don't really know, because I don't think
you know what I'm
play
saying.
enough.
Like, is that a thing with like new leagues? Did they ever add new map areas? Like, because you know, like Diablo has its tile sets and they're the same always. You know, it's like it's this group.
But
it's like this.
At the very least, the seasonal theme is a new tile set. It usually takes place in an entirely new place. So there's that.
The Harvest has its own little area to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything that's in the game.
One where it put the fog in everywhere.
Yeah.
Get the name.
I don't know that any new maps were added for that, but the fog made the map look different.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's so I guess the question is, do you think it's a bad model to have couple yearly, bi-yearly?
Yeah. Do you think? Okay, so you're kind of a WoW expert. Like, is there? I'm sure like there's actually patches that happen like pretty somewhat regularly. Do you think that there's enough content in those patches where they could say, okay, once every 2 years you're getting a mega expansion, but once every 3 months you're getting like an expansion? Is there enough juice in those WoW like quarterly updates, or?
So they put in like the mini. So like, okay, so for example, BFA dropped and it was 8.0 is the patch, and like 8.1, 8.2, 8.3. Those big three markers were big content patches. They were pretty insignificant to me. Like 8.2, I was hyped for, and it came out, and I was like, "This sucks." Like it just didn't hit any of my buttons. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. Some people love it, some people hate it. But yeah, man, I guess I see your point, and I don't think you're wrong. The amount of content for WoW to have to pump out, because as a WoW consumer, you can just eat it up, you know, and it's like. It's a grindy game too, you know, and Path of Exile is a grindy game too. I think ARPGs and MMOs are just different beasts in general, you know. But I would say as an ARPG, I think if you're making an expansion model and an ARPG, you failed already. If Diablo 4 comes out and it's a Diablo 4 base game and then an expansion, like that's the big content drop a year later as an expansion, you've already failed. Like that's not going to cut it. What you need is pretty decent sized patches every 90 days, on a 90-day cycle. And then your big expansion can hit a year and a half in. That's like totally changes the game up. But then you got to still continue those 90-day cycles,
I think that's one thing that WoW doesn't hit very well is, for me, like an insanely casual fair weather World of Warcraft fan.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I don't know when to
to
come back and like check if anything's new.
Yeah, you got to have your finger on the pulse too, right? Like if you check out a BFA, for example, and WoW, and then like how are you going to know when to come back unless you're actively going out and monitoring stuff?
Yeah.
You got to have a buddy. Like you would have to rely on me to be like, yo, Fluff, man, this 8.4 patch is going to be dope. Like you got to come back and check this out. But if you don't have that friend, you're not going to get that.
Yep.
So, but that being said, okay, I'm not a POE guy for real. So if I stepped away from POE, unless you were like, yo, P, you really need to check out this next league. It's going to be sick. Like, look what they're doing.
But you know every 90 days you're getting a new league, period.
So I would know to be like, what's going on with it? It's been a while. Let me see what's going on with the league.
You can just put a calendar event, like the first of every quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I do think scheduling and pacing really matters. Yeah. I really do. I think that if people know, like, if this is the cadence, then they know to keep their finger on it and just be like, yeah, let's check that out. So, I agree. I think that's a great model. I also think the free to play model is the way to go, man. Totally. Like, I hated free to play when it first came out. It literally used to make me it would make me lose interest in a game if I find out it was free to play. And now I'm like, is it free to play? Like, that's what I ask people because I'm like, you know what? If the game's good, I'll spend money on it. And if it's not, I didn't waste anything. And an example of that is like, what was this new game that just dropped today that everybody and their mom's playing right now? Fall Guys or something, some shit like that. It's like Fall Guys or something. And so it's like this stupid, like little kiddish game. And it looks like it could be fun for a couple minutes. And I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. Is it free to play? They have skins or something? I'm like, no, it's like $20. I'm like, oh, cool. Not gonna buy it. Not gonna play it, But if it were free to play, then I might have played it. And if it was fun enough, then I might have given them money. So maybe that's just me being cheap. I don't know. But I do think the free to play, pay to skin model I think that's an okay model. I'm not mad at that anymore. I used to hate it. I'm not
but you've also
anymore.
seen it work. I think that you're automatically a skeptic until you've seen it work. Like if you would ask me the same thing before I played Path of Exile, the word cash shop, I'd have been like, oh God, fuck, I'm not playing any game.
Yeah, exactly.
Has a cash shop in it. So yeah, I mean, it's just like what you're exposed to, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Once you see a company that does it well and they're not like total microtransaction, greedy horrors, then it's not as bad. And I say that like kind of serious though, because like some of the stuff I've seen is like unbelievable, and like if I'm being perfectly honest, I think POE outprices themselves because I would definitely buy cosmetics in POE. Like I haven't spent any money on cosmetics. I spent money on stash tabs and like quality of life improvements because I think that's more important to me than cosmetics. But I'm not going to spend $40 on a set of wings. To me, that's when I justify it. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to spend $40, the only reason I'm really going to do it is to support the devs. But if I'm going to do that, I need it to like do something back for me. So I'm going to get more stash tabs. I'm going to get more things that enhance my experience. And cosmetics look cool, but $40 for wings is crazy. If they were $5, I'd buy them.
But hasn't World of Warcraft had like $40 mounts?
Yeah, I don't buy that
shit, right? Yeah.
Like, yeah, I wouldn't buy that. Like, that's stupid. Like, I don't have any pay mounts in WoW. But see, WoW has enough cool stuff to grind. And so to me, when I see a mount in WoW that's a pay mount, even if it's cool, even if it's like the coolest looking mount ever, I'm like, you're stupid. You know what I mean? I instantly think like you're dumb for buying that. That's the thought process that goes through my head. And maybe that's a bad thought process, but unless it's a charity mount, I'm like, you're dumb. He spent $40 on that. Well, like that's what I think.
Like, he's supporting the game that I love. Oh, what a fucking rat.
I mean, you're supporting WoW with the subscription fee, right?
Okay.
So
if it's Path of Exile, you see someone walk around with $60 wings, you're like, oh, what a rat.
No, if I see somebody with $60 wings, I'm like, oh, those are really cool, but damn, that's a lot of money for a
Yeah.
set of wings. That's the
Sure.
thought process that goes through my head.
I think
But
that's
if I
fine.
see somebody on WoW on a cool mount, I'm like, you're stupid. Like that's, I hate to say it, but they do have some like charity mounts. Like if you do it, the proceeds go to some, charity thing. Those are cool. If I see those, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They helped out some charity. Like I'm with you on that. But yeah,
Anyways,
I don't know. We just
super
derailed,
crazy
but
tangent. Yeah.
yeah, it's $60 in a cash shop though bothers me a little bit. Like that's the thing. That's the difference, man. Path of Exile is also free. So when you see things like that, it's not as
Yeah,
bad.
but like what you just said, like, so you're like, oh, okay, so you see someone with that $60 mount, you're like, well, you're stupid, right? Does that really hurt your gameplay experience? Like those whales are gonna buy that game or buy that thing.
I don't get mad at them though. Like I don't care. I'm just like, you're stupid. But that's it. That's the whole thought process from start to end.
Right. So why is that a bad thing?
I guess it's not. I mean, if they want it, buy it.
Yeah, let the whales be whales, man.
I guess, yeah.
It
Whales
helps
can be
your
whales.
game.
It does. It's that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't have an argument for that. But I still think, lol, you're stupid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's fine. Yeah.
It doesn't change that.
I mean, when I hear like the top
but
POE guys,
okay, yeah. If it's pay for power, that's not the same though.
No, totally. Yeah.
So like, okay, let's talk about this. And this could be really relative to Diablo 4. Diablo 3 has paid character boosts to skip the leveling process. So let's say in Diablo 4 that your max level is 70. I'm just gonna say 70 because that's what Diablo 3 is. Let's say
40.
it's 70.
It's 40. We know
Is it 40? Okay,
yeah.
so you max the 40, and then let's say that process takes a week. Okay, they don't fuck around this time, and it takes a week to get to level 40. But you could pay $40 and boost the character to 40. How do you feel about that?
It's World of Warcraft.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the paid boost? Is that pay to win?
I mean, in a sense, yes, of course. But do I care? It's like, I didn't want to get into the discussion yet. But like Lost Ark. So Lost Ark has a cash shop. It is definitely like pay to win because you're paying for like more. You're paying to advance faster. And that is pay to win. So yes, boosting a character to me is pay to win. However, ultimately, why? Like, so in Lost Ark, I could spend money to like get materials faster so that I can upgrade my gear faster. And so that I could basically sit around and twiddle my thumbs sooner.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did you do it? I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is a time investment. So it makes it. I can justify the paid boosts a little bit. And the rationale behind this is when I had newborns. Like when my kids were really little, it killed my playtime because they were. I just had to spend all my time with them. Like they always needed something. They always needed help. I didn't have hours to just devote and play the games. And so to me, it's like, okay, I really want a priest. I don't have time to level the priest. What little time I have, I would much rather try to progress the priest in a raid or dungeons or whatever. So that makes sense, and I'm with that. So I guess my point is pay to boost your character to the max level isn't so much of a power pay. But if it's like pay to buy a gear set, like let's say that they sold the seasonal Hadra gift box things, they had a seasonal set in it. If they sold those, then I would be like, oh, that's fucked up.
But is it because you're still paying to just advance yourself
you're selling power at that point because you could buy multiples and get ancients, and you'd be stupid if you did it, but you could. I don't know, man. It just seems.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like you're paying to advance yourself, and the game's gonna run stale for you faster, so it's stupid. But at the same time, it's that argument of like, oh, you bought those $60 thing, like you're stupid, right? It's the same kind of argument, but it is pay to win. Like if that's what we're arguing, right? Like it is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
So then the other flip side of that is that's the pay to win system that I think, although sucks, is semi acceptable. And I say the word semi before people flip out, but the unacceptable is when they have items that should be in game that are only on the cash shop. If they have examples, like let's say you spend $60 for Diablo 4 and you get the game and you get max level, and then there's like 2 different horses you can earn in game, right? But they have 5 on the fucking cash shop and they look phenomenal. but the ones you can actually grind in game are shittier than the ones on the cash shop. That would piss me off. That would make me be like, okay, now you've crossed the line because we paid money for the game. We want to grind these things in the game, but we can't. There's no way to. You have to spend more money to get the cool looking horse or to get the cool looking weapon transmog, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's also relative, so it's hard to say like, oh,
yeah, what's cool,
what's
not.
cool, what's
Let's just say it's like dramatically. Like it's not even everybody thinks that. You know, you're talking about basic horse in Lost Ark versus juiced up horse, right?
Sure.
Okay, like it's that drastic. Like I would be like, okay, this is.
But even in Lost Ark, it is a little bit faster. But I mean, we're talking like you'll get to the zone 2 seconds before everybody else, and then you have a boost once every 10 seconds, and you go maybe twice as far. But it's not that much. Like it's not far.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know.
I hear you. Man, it's just such a slippery slope.
It
and
is.
I hope
I
hope that D4 stays on the right side because I feel like I went down this with Bungie with Destiny because Destiny didn't have a cash shop and then Destiny 1 added a cash shop and it was okay. It wasn't super bad. And then every like season, every content update, they put a little bit more in that cash shop. And then finally, by the end of Destiny 2, people were like, "What the fuck? All the cool stuff is in the cash shop, dude! Like, what's going on here? This is a paid game with expansions, and like all the good stuff's in the cash shop. You can't even earn it." And people lost their minds. And then so they went to the free to play model, and then the cool stuff's still in the cash shop. And it's so I don't know if it's better now. I haven't kept up with it. It was a thing, so I hope Blizzard doesn't do that. I hope they learned from their sister company, so
yeah. And then I think one of the reasons like Lost Ark, and that's why I made the poll the way it was, is because I was actually curious. So in Lost Ark you can pay to advance faster, and I do think that is very pay to win. However, if you're just playing the game for PvP, literally none of that shit matters. Zero. Like none of the gear stats go in with you in PvP. It's like not even normalized. Like you go in with nothing. So I don't know that I give it like if Lost Ark came to NA and it's pay to win. Hopefully it wouldn't be because I have to believe that there's some marketing team out there that would say don't do that because NA doesn't like that.
Yeah, NA doesn't play that way. Right.
But if it did, like I would probably still play it because like the PvP is good and the pay to win model doesn't really fucking matter. So I don't know. Obviously, but it would hurt the game. At the end of the day, it would hurt the game.
I would still play Lost Ark either way too because the combat's so fun.
Yeah.
And like that's ultimately what matters. If the gameplay is good, you're still gonna play it.
Yeah.
You just might be pissed off.
But it will hurt the game. Like it's gonna hurt the game's image. It's gonna make like less people want to try it out. So there is that as well. But yeah, totally.
All right, super side rant.
Totally, yeah. So Immortal.
What were we even talking about? I don't even know.
How did we get here?
I don't know.
I feel bad if like Wyatt Chang was like listening, like waiting to hear what we said about Diablo Immortal, and then we like 20, 30 minutes later.
So to relay back to Immortal a little bit, we don't know the pricing scheme for Immortal yet still. And I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle. Like if it's free to play, then that means there's going to be a cash shop and that's going to turn people away. If it costs money, that means there's a gate to play it and people aren't going to buy it. So they won't know it's good unless it's just phenomenal. And everybody's like, you got to get it, got to get it, got to get it. I don't see how they win. I honestly don't see how Blizzard wins an NA with Immortals.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I don't know.
I think like this is going to be the biggest. This is the thing I'm most excited about for Immortal is to be like, what kind of monetization scheme are they going to have? So
what that also interests me. But on top of that, when we were at BlizzCon 2018, we heard a lot of discussion around autoplay. So I'm genuinely curious.
That's not going to come in. There's no way.
If there's any type of autoplay in any kind of regard, like maybe like you got some dude that crafts for you and he just like runs shit, like like Black Desert, where you have like all the dumb minions you like send off and.
Yeah, probably. There needs to be a hook. I think most mobile games try to have a hook to get you to open the app, right? So it's going to be like, yo, you're your blacksmith made your weapon, come collect it every 4 hours or some shit, because they want you to open that app. They want it to be relevant. They want you to always be thinking about it. So I would be really surprised if there's not like a blacksmith or a jewel crafter or something that's you got to log back in the game and collect some dumb shit, you know? So
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited to see it a little bit, because I don't know, man. I want new juice, man. I want new Diablo stuff so bad.
Totally.
Like it's just like I'm excited for it, for the fact because it's Diablo stuff, and graphically it looks decent. So I hope it's
I mean, it's hard to. I don't know. It does look okay, and the screenshots look okay.
I'm genuinely impressed for mobile. Like I think that looks pretty good. If those aren't like doctored up images, like I think that's better than Diablo 3 looks now.
You never know.
So yeah, I don't think they would doctor them either.
But breaking into the trailer, what were the kind of things that jumped out at you? So this is the China trailer, basically. The
China trailer, yeah. Honestly, I didn't think the trailer was that good. If I'm being honest with you, I thought it was. We've played Immortal. We've played a lot of Immortal, and I don't think the trailer showcased the gameplay that well. I don't think it. I think it shows these cinematics like of the Crusader and the Wizard, and these people doing things, and it looks okay. I think the monk looks a little bad. I think the screenshots from that update looked better than this trailer. And I don't think they showcased enough gameplay. They had all these cinematics that didn't look that well, but the gameplay was decent, actually. So that was what jumped out at me. But you get to see the abilities. I mean, so people who have never played the game, you get to see the mage use their frost ability and how you target it. And the way that you would target is you're holding your device and you click the ability, and then you move your thumb and it kind of rotates the ability, and then you can let go and it shoots it. And it actually worked out pretty well. So you can kind of see how some of the abilities work and things like that. But
yeah, I will say, so just from this, it was the first glimpse since.
This looks like old footage, honestly, to me.
It does, I agree. But it's the first glimpse we saw of necro stuff. We haven't. I didn't get to see any necro abilities since like BlizzCon 2018. I remember this. Like, I actually remember this ability, and I remember telling Wyatt Channing, I was like, it kind of sucks that the auto attack that necro has is like literally a green ball. It's like really boring. It looks like it's still in the game. But the other skills, we've got command skeletons and command golem, which are not very exciting to me. And then at the bottom here, it almost looks like there's bone storm. Like as an ability.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Necro is going to have pets. So skeleton pets and Golem makes sense. It's just, we don't know what they do. Hopefully they can chain off each other too. That'd be, because they did have those chain effects that were pretty nice. Yeah, I agree. I think, it looks like this does look like old footage, man. The more I watch it, I'm like, it doesn't look like it's the newest, latest, greatest stuff. It felt good the second time around. 2019, I feel like there was a lot of improvement. There was the new UI that had the super ability, and I didn't see that on these. This
I think that's the big one that's on the left.
Oh, is that the big button? Let's go back to that UI. You can find it again.
Yeah, it's like this is the ulti, I think.
Oh, that's the ulti? Okay. I thought it was in the middle, but maybe bad memories.
I don't think it would like go over your UI that you have to use it when it pops up. Otherwise, it's taking up your screen space. That would be bad.
I really hope this works with BlueStacks, man. Like, if I can hook my PS4 controller up and
it's gonna work with BlueStacks. It's not like any game officially supports BlueStacks. It just
I know.
Make it work. Yeah,
I think as BlueStacks lets you bind the.
It'd be great if BlueStacks worked at launch. I think is the thing. Yeah, so we don't have to play on a phone.
Fucking iPad. I don't want to have to try to figure out how to wirelessly stream my iPad to my fucking.
I don't even have an iPad, so I just like have my phone, and then Lindsay sends me like a text or something, and chat gets to read it or something. Like, great.
Yeah, she sends you an ass pic. You're like,
banned. Yeah.
What is this a lump? Oh my god. Yeah, that would be so bad, man. Yeah, I would have to like disconnect all my accounts on my iPad.
But you touched on, and Diablo fans touched on a little bit, is that the model for the barbarian is different.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it was in the trailer. It was different too.
I think this is just a China thing.
You think the NA is going to be the old dude?
Yep. Because and I'll tell you why I think that. Because if you go look at this trailer and you look at the Necro, he's summoning skeletons, but they have to have flesh. You can't have bones in China. And even the sound effects, you can hear like the bones. Like it's a very Necro sound effect. So I think that they just put some like skin on the skeletons.
They hate old white people in China or something. So like we
hate a lot of skin colors in China. So
we can't have this old white guy. We got to make him a young white guy.
No, they just wanted to like, they want you to identify with your character more. So they want you to look like a,
Is he Asian looking?
Yeah, I think so. He's like a samurai, like big dude.
I mean, I guess I guess. I mean, that makes sense, I guess, to me,
Yeah, I think it's just Asian. So
yeah, that's fine. I'm with that. I can agree with that. But I think also you can, maybe it's just that
there'll probably be skins though to purchase as well. So you'll probably be able to be to these guys.
Yeah, cosmetics gotta be. But if you compare the two, you can see the quality improvements in the two. It could just be compression on the top picture.
I think this is just pulled from a screenshot, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely looks cleaner and sharper and things like that. So more finished. Like look at the more. Yeah, it's probably just a big grab.
Yeah, that's the impression I got, anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. I agree with that assessment.
And then you had this article in here. What is this?
Yeah, man, this is nutty. Like, I don't even know. This is more of like a more Blizzard drama stuff.
Okay.
But like apparently Blizzard workers have been sharing a salary spreadsheet where they like anonymously put their title and their pay. And
yikes.
Yikes, right? And it's just showing that like some people are making way less than other people with the same position, and how they're talking about treating employees fairly and this and that, and some people are making like less than cost of living and can't afford places to live, and the CEO is making 40 million, and it's just more like this. They're saying that like some people are making like $11 an hour to work at Blizzard, right, which is like below minimum wage in California, I think. I don't even know. But like $11 an hour, and then like the CEO is making 40 mil, and then they'll have like one graphic designer making like 35K, and then another one making 140K, and just just weird stuff. And it could totally be BS. Like you could probably, if you're anonymously filling out that spreadsheet, who's to know you're not making shit up? I don't know, man. Take it with a grain of salt, but it's just another black eye. And I think this kind of just restarted with like the big job layoffs they had, and people were like, whoa, the CEOs took this big ass bonus and now we're firing 800 people. And then it's like, okay, now you're going to rehire people. And then now Corona hits and, like people aren't getting paid fairly. And
yeah. I didn't like the pay stuff. I didn't think to be interesting or even relative because, like some of the examples they give, like, several employees say that they receive significant pay after leaving the company and then coming back. Literally, that's everywhere. That's not specific to Blizzard at all. Like, everywhere in the world, you could make more money somewhere else, and then if you make that much money coming somewhere else, and they want you back, you got to give them that much. That happens all the time in IT.
Yeah, that's actually happened to me before.
Yeah, literally.
Like I literally was offered a job making a lot more money, and I was like, I'm gonna take this job. And when I told my company, they're like, oh my god, no, really sorry here. And most times you should be like, no, I'm not going to take that. Like, you didn't value me the first time. Why are you going to value me now?
Right.
I took it and it worked out for me. I got lucky, but yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
And Blizzard's a company, man. They're for profit. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I think the interesting part of the article and what we're kind of starting to touch on is the fact that in this thing, they say, people were laid off and then like no one was brought in to take those roles. And so people just like absorbed more job duties and with no pay increase. I think that was probably the most interesting piece of this. That's kind of like that is the black guy to this article.
Yeah, and it's just it's just another like
blemish.
Blizzard can't get a break. Get a break. You know what I mean? Type deal. It's like damn. It's just like one thing after that. They can't stay out of the news.
Company that big and try to like not be in the news, I guess.
Yeah, but they're a for-profit organization. I do think if some of the things are right, where it's like I don't know, man. You have to. Like, I'm sitting here looking at it, and it says like, okay, so there's a CM, like a customer service manager, or like a somebody. Let's just say you're a WoW CM, right? And you're just online answering tickets every day. Like so and so called me that a bad name. Can you ban them?
Right.
Just dumb shit. So like that guy is living in California, which probably has like the highest cost of living in the United States. I would imagine LA's got to be top, if it's not the top, at least top 5, right? So it's crazy expensive. So you're living in LA, you're doing this job, and you're making 35K, 30K, 28K, whatever. That's not really a lot of money, but at the same time, it's like, is that a super
In demand skill
skill
set.
heavy
Right.
job? Yeah,
Are you
do you
expecting
have
them to
to have?
make the engineer salary?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, and are you being forced to work that job? Like, is there, I don't know, man. It's like just this, I don't know. It's a weird thing because part of me is like, well, are they being forced to work that job? Not really. Like they can go get any job, but at the same time, like okay, you got to pay people enough to live. You know what
Sure.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just
I think that there will be that reflection too. Like if you don't pay your CMs very well, like are they going to be as, neutral minded and not rage out at people as if
yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
happy employees?
Here's the thing. Like when you go to McDonald's and you get a 20-piece McNugget
Right.
and you get that shit, and there's like 15 nuggets in there. It's like, yeah, because you had like a dropout from high school
Right.
working there and he can't count. Like the kid literally probably can't count, and
Right.
like
Or he
that's
doesn't
why
just
he's
give a shit. He gets like
yeah, and
$5
so
an hour. Like why the fuck does
yeah,
he
he
care?
doesn't care. Like he cares about his fucking
Right.
Snapchat more than he cares about
Yeah.
your 20-piece nugget. So it's like you get what you pay for because you're paying the kid
Right.
literally barely enough to pay for gas and his his beer money or whatever.
Yep.
So
So what we're
it's like
trying
you're
to
gonna
say is this Adam guy, you get what you pay for. He's terrible. He's just the worst. I'm kidding.
I don't. Do you see his car? He posted
Yeah,
some pictures of
yeah.
his car
I
on
guess
Twitter.
he's not
He,
anymore of
he
you, right?
he's anonymously filling out the sheet. He's like, CM 400K.
Yeah.
Oh
True.
my god! We just threw Adam under the
True.
bus. Yeah. So there was something else I wanted to hit on this. I didn't note it down, but I can't remember. If it comes back to me, I'll go to it. But
We're
it's just another black eye. Feels
sure.
bad. It feels bad for Blizz. Like I guess secretly in the back of my mind, I don't know if secretly, but I always root for them. Like Blizzard is like one of my companies that they produce games
Yeah.
I love,
I
man.
don't
Like
think
WoW,
why is that
Diablo.
shaming to say? Like we all want Diablo 4 to be
Dude,
like the best game
I
in the
think it's
world.
changed, man. I think since 2018, I think people want to shit on Blizzard.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like the thing, like
It is cool to
if
shit on Blizzard.
if I'm being totally transparent, I think it's time. There's times where I'm scared to be like, I'm kind of excited for Immortal to come out because if
Mm.
saying that, people are going to be like, "Fucking shill, you're a
Yeah.
shill,"
I mean
blah
you
blah
are.
blah,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so
The shield child, yeah. Mm-hmm.
the shill child, yeah, totally, Lord Shill, shills a
Hey,
lot,
hey, hey. This is a two-way street.
Lord
All right.
Shilly, so.
So you also had this in here, which
Yeah, this is like a 4K remaster of Diablo 2. I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's these videos float around YouTube all the time.
yeah.
And it's obviously not playable. I don't think it's like, they threw the video
Sure.
and like some kind of AI upscales it and tries to add textures and make it look cool. But it's kind of like,
It's
okay,
smoother,
this
you
is
can
what a
tell, yeah.
Diablo 4 remaster could look. It looks better than base Diablo 2, So
I hope
I don't know
Diablo
about
4 remaster doesn't look like this.
a lot.
No,
I don't know, man.
yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting to see. Like we feature this stuff all the time, like the Path to Diablo, the Diablo
Mhm.
2 League starting again, or the ladder reset, and it's like to us, no thanks. But it is, it is interesting if this is your thing. Like there's a whole ton of players that still love Diablo 2, and
Yeah.
it blows
Like I
our
watched this
minds. But
gameplay and I'm just like, this looks like I'm playing an Atari. Like, and I
yeah,
know like this is not an Atari because Atari's way worse, but now it looks like an Atari. So I couldn't do this, like
yeah,
personally. Like
no.
I don't care how good the game is. If it looked like this, even this 4K remastered,
Well, now you're
I couldn't do it.
contradicting yourself because you said you can go back and play Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 looks like shit.
That's the only one, man. I don't know what it is. That game's got something. It's got some juice to it, man. I can do that game,
I can't. I
So
can't. I don't care
you
how
can't
much I love the game. I don't want to
You can't go back and play FF7?
No, it looks like
Really?
garbage. It's
Really
a
bothers you?
joke. Yes.
You're not a real Final Fantasy fan then.
Bro, I was maybe the best Halo 1 player ever to ever exist. And I can't go back and play that game now. It's laggy and
it's different though, man. It's different.
How is that any different?
I guess 7 you're playing for the story, and then the RPG mechanics are turn based. So I don't know, man. It's just not the same as like a first person shooter. Like
Halo 1 is what put Halo on the map. You know, it's like what started.
Well, I mean, look at Halo 6's graphics. Halo Infinite looks like doo doo.
It's technically Halo 7, if we're being.
Is that 7?
There's Reach.
Wait, what was that? Oh, no, yeah, nobody plays Reach.
It was a game. I enjoyed Reach.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of people's favorite, actually, isn't it?
I don't think so, but
what's historically people's favorite? Do you think
2?
It's either 2, right?
Which is I don't agree with that at all, but yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, this new Halo looks. I don't know, man. That's
we'll see. But they did announce, in other Halo news that like the multiplayer is going to be free to play.
Yeah, what the hell?
Good, it's great.
What?
I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening because like they're not.
People are going to pay $40 for the campaign.
I don't know.
They can't charge 60. There's no way they can charge 60 for the campaign.
But not just that, but like, why are you even making another version of the Xbox? Like, really? If I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Xbox X?
Yeah, like why do that? If Halo's not going to be an exclusive console game, which I'm glad it's not. Yeah. Like, why would you ever buy an Xbox? I don't know. That'd be the only reason I'd ever buy an Xbox.
They shot themselves in the foot because I would have bought an Xbox for Halo. Yeah. I would have, like 100%. I would have been like, "Fuck, I'm sorry, babe."
I just don't know what their plan is, and so now they've announced this.
I don't know. And now that it's free to play,
I don't get it.
It's like, okay, so listen. Here's what that means.
What?
Free to play equals there's going to be hackers like a mofo on PC. It's going to be so disastrous on PC because you're going to create a new account and just.
But like Microsoft owns Windows, so they're going to be like, "Fuck your copy of Windows, bro."
It's going to be full of hackers, right? So then you're going to be like, okay, well, they can't hack console. So you're going to go buy an Xbox to get away from the hackers on PC. That's their strat. That's got to be their play. I think free to play is such a, I don't know, man. Destiny tarnished me so much with their free to play and the cheats that happened. And then when GTA went free for a while, like all the cheaters that came out of the woodworks through that game, I hope that they don't screw that up. But
I mean, there's games that are free.
Okay, are you going to buy the campaign for Halo 5 then if multiplayer is free?
No. Why?
He says no.
I mean, I want to support Halo because I love Halo, but like, that's literally the last thing in the world I would want to buy is a story mode Halo.
Yeah.
It's a hard pass. I'm sure it'd be like PvE content.
You think it's going to be $40 for the campaign?
I have no idea. They haven't said anything.
I think that's it. I don't know.
I would assume it'd be a full like $60. That's a fucking game. I don't know. But the multiplayer's free. So why would you buy it? I don't understand. People buy God of War for $60, and it's literally just a stupid story. So I don't know.
Halo campaigns always suck. They're never good.
But you say that, but they're widely successful.
I'm just giving all the Halo campaign. They're pissed at me. Everybody that's a Halo fan is so pissed at me right now.
Yeah,
it does not suck, POE. How dare you? You like Destiny? It's garbage.
But that's pretty much it for Halo stuff.
That's it for Halo. That's it for Diablo. Yeah.
And so I had some stuff.
Okay, what you got?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Get your face ready. So, Omega Lulson.
Omega Lulson. Okay. All right. Did they fix the crashing through the Earth issues?
I think this paragraph says it all. Okay. Listen to this, and I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Second Dawn marked a shift in our priority regarding the development of the game. While we initially wanted to prioritize new league content and the new chapter, the feedback from our community was unanimous, and we totally agree with you. The game needed to be fixed and polished as much as possible before adding new content.
So you released the beta.
It turns out our community wants a game that works before we push out more content.
You mean when you're fighting a boss and then all of a sudden the floor goes transparent and you can't see anything that's not good for the game repeatedly.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yep.
I'm with you. Okay.
But with that, you know,
man, I don't want to shit on Wilson
I know
because
I don't either, but
I
they
feel like
fucked
they're
themselves.
a small dev team. I don't know how many employees they have,
Yeah.
and I really want them to be successful because more competition means better for everybody. It means a better Wilson game. It means better Diablo games, better POE, better Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Everything. So
I
I wish them
just
success. I think that's the right play. Fix the game first,
Totally.
then do content.
There's
That's
no
the right
question.
play.
Right.
It's kind of like duh though, and it's like Jesus, man. The game's been out 6 months. It came out in February.
Was it
March?
before that?
I don't know.
I don't
Let me
even
see.
know.
I could check my Steam
Yeah.
and see the last time I played it because I beat the campaign and then never touched it again. Steam's got a
February
load.
13th, Chad says.
Okay, yeah, that seems right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, Wilson. That's a long time ago. But
Sure.
I
think
hope they
that,
fix it.
I get upset when I think about Wilson because they had such an opportunity. They had so many, big names playing their game. They generated a lot of hype.
Launch day. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like this
And we couldn't
no-name
even log
game.
in.
Everyone's like, what is this? What is this? And people are downloading it. And they had this crazy opportunity in their hands to really make this a game that was like maybe even a contender. Because the end game was okay. It was better than Diablo 3.
Nobody wants to fail. It's just the shitty part. Like I feel bad for them because they obviously didn't see the server issues. I think just killed it. Like they went from like 70K people playing and being watching to like nothing in like 2 days. Yeah, you couldn't log in.
Well, not just that. Okay, like that doesn't matter to me. None of that matters. Not being able to log in, blah blah blah. Like it literally doesn't matter. Obviously, the characters getting rolled back, that sucks. That's what was the big deal. Any game that comes out in the past 10 years, like find me a game that hasn't been riddled with like I can't log in, right? Like that shit doesn't matter anymore, unfortunately. But the turnaround, that's what like it just like it gets under my skin because they had all this opportunity. They had this overwhelming flow of like interest and support and people buying the game that they probably didn't even anticipate. This kind of wealth of cash flow all of a sudden, and they are like, oh yeah, we're gonna patch the game once a week, and that's all we can do. Sorry, and just like, what? Like, what a joke! What a total fucking joke! Do whatever you have to do to patch all the time. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, do you need more devs? Do you need better servers? You need to switch your companies, your hosting. Like it seemed to me like they almost were throwing the blame on the hosting company too.
You chose
the hosting company only let them patch like once a week, and I'm like, what fucking hosting company are you with, man? Fucking Amazon S3. Get some.
Sorry,
Amazon
guys, we hit our data cap for this month.
It's like what are you doing? Like, no, man. I don't know. It does suck though because I really want good things for them. Even if I don't play Wilson ever again, I hope they succeed because, like I said, it's competition in the market, and if they have good ideas, then those good ideas will push through forever through every genre, and not even just ARPGs. Man, you could see World of Warcraft stealing some of the ideas, or Destiny, or whatever your favorite game is. Those guys. You guys are listening. Like your favorite game might be like, yo, man, you know what? Like Greater Rift is a great concept, and we could steal that and put that in our game, or this the way we get loot, this crafting system. Like, so I don't know.
But okay, so to their credit, it is lengthy. There's a lot here. There's a lot that they changed. I can't state to whether or not there's balance or this is great stuff, but I mean, there's a lot here. This is more than I've ever seen from Wilson, so that's good.
VFX. Hold on. Go back down to that VFX. What do they have? Fixing crashes?
Yeah, probably just
fixing the fall through the.
I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. I want to see Fluff. Don't fall through the world anymore.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of notes. If you guys are into Wilson and you liked it, though, it looks like that's a cool update. So
yeah,
check it out.
In bigger news.
Oh my god!
So,
can you make a mega Wilson emote? That's what you need, dude.
Yeah. In bigger news, Lost Ark released its season 2 trailer, which is chock full of juicy content. They even like so. We
Graphical
knew.
update? What was
Yeah,
that?
we got a graphical update.
Jesus, it already looks good.
I know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, I haven't seen this. Let that play. Oh my
Okay.
god.
Well, I'll play.
Beautiful.
You're also getting your own. Like, there's an island now, so like it's your own island. You can.
Okay, garrisons. Got it. You can make it pretty.
Like a hideout from Path of Exile, and
that's really cool. That's a great. See, exactly, man. Like, would they have done this without POE? Probably not.
Maybe.
But it looks cool, man.
You can take selfies. Of course, that is a huge want for all players.
Skimpy outfits for you creepers out there.
I guess they're revamping, the island content, which is great because I think it sucks.
The island content does suck, but some people like it, I think. So that's cool.
It's a pretty small margin of people, I think. But yeah, there are the people that really enjoy it.
Is cool.
I don't know what this is. I don't know if this means like they're rebalancing harvesting life skills. I don't know any changes there. I really don't have any context for this whatsoever, but everything else I could kind of make sense of. Yeah. The one thing that was, so they announced the Scouter, right? And this was, a couple weeks ago now. So this is like a brand new class that like no one had heard about, and we're decided it's basically like an Iron Man.
Yeah, that looks crazy. Gameplay.
Yeah, it's like
combat in this game is
it's insane.
God, it's so good. That looks really fucking cool. Did you see the little laser beam spin from Iron Man 2?
Get ready for this. Get ready for this.
Quad rockets?
Watch. An airship flies over.
Oh,
but here's what's interesting.
Man. Oh my god,
a brand new class. Good. A brand new class that they never even talked about before.
Yeah,
came out in this trailer. The Reaper. And it looks pretty fucking dope.
That does look cool too.
It's like an assassin. I'm all
about
that.
Energy shadow thing.
He went stealth to get behind him. The skills are green, man. I like green skills.
Mm-hmm.
Pentagram.
Lots of as I say, pentagram eyeballs.
Yeah. What? So this is saying I think new like boss fights, and so like the boss fights are good. These look intense to say the least.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
But look at those bosses. Like that looks so good.
I know. Yeah.
This game, like I'm telling you guys, man, this game, if you haven't played Lost Ark, you should. I think there's things in my Discord.
Skip this. What the fuck was that?
Is that a heart?
Yep.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Well, he's like a prince, like
a clown. He's a clown.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. Nice.
Okay. No telegraphing for that.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, telegraphs. See, that's the one thing. Like I go back and I play POE now. I go back and play Diablo now, and I get killed by unavoidable damage. I'm just like, God damn it! Like,
yeah, it's frustrating, right? At least this, you see it. You see it. I saw you fighting that scorpion guy. Didn't you fight him?
Yeah.
Or was that something different?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. See, like Lost Ark steals so many things from so many games. Like this is like Monster Hunter-ish. What they're doing right there, killing those big bosses. Yeah. They got raids from WoW, kind of. They got dungeons from every game.
Mm-hmm.
They got ARPG aspects from all kinds of stuff. Like they just borrow so many things from so many games, and the combat is just so phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, God, I hope it comes over.
And so like they're revamping the card system, which is interesting. Let me ask you this. This has been a question that I've been asking people, and so originally, I think that Lost Ark suffered a lot from scope creep, like we heard about the game and everyone's really, really excited for the game. And like we saw combat and like, oh my God, I want this game to come out. And then they just spent so much more dev time, like making the island hearts and the sailboats. And everyone's like, oh, okay. Like, oh, this game must be big. Like, that's cool, I guess. Yeah. And then they had like a card game and everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, where the
Gwent.
Right.
Like, they're borrowing stuff from every game. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And so let me ask you this. Okay. So I am kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't like the card game Lost Ark. It's very like you kind of just sit there and you watch it play out. Like it's very blah. It's like auto chess almost, but less cool. What if in Diablo 4, just walk down this path with me, okay? What if in Diablo 4, you would kill mobs and do quests and stuff like that, and some of your rewards would be Hearthstone cards?
For the other game, like not in Diablo.
You would go to like a tavern in Diablo, and you could you could play Hearthstone against people.
Damn. I would be okay with that.
That's what I said.
I totally would. And honestly, that's a fucking smart idea, man. If they put the Hearthstone client inside of Diablo 4 and you could literally sit down and launch Hearthstone in Diablo 4, play some games, and then you're still in Diablo 4.
Yeah. And there's a thing that, like, so in Lost Ark, you queue up. Like, you queue up just like you would in World of Warcraft. You queue up for, like, a raid, or you queue up for a dungeon, and you're kind of waiting. What if you could just play a game of cards, right? Like,
well, that's a great idea, man. I think people would get pissed.
Yeah,
but
probably.
I personally, I would like it. If a Hearthstone card dropped, you'd be like, oh shit, dude, I just got, blah, 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 card. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
And it was like a rare drop. Like, I got the Diablo card, and he only drops from Diablo. I mean, I can get him from packs if I buy packs.
Yeah, I got the Lilith card. Yeah, it only drops off of Lilith, and I can now use that in Hearthstone. I think Hearthstone players would be pissed because now they got to farm those cards in Diablo.
That's true.
That's the downside. But if they had their own mini game inside of it, like I think the Hearthstone idea is really good for Blizzard to tie that shit together. But an example though is like Gwent in Witcher. Did you ever play Witcher?
No.
Okay.
Is it a single player role playing game?
Yeah. I don't even know why I asked. Well, you did play like Jedi Fallen Order and shit.
Yeah, just for
so. Did you ever play Final Fantasy VIII?
Yes.
Okay, so you remember the Triple Triad card game in Final Fantasy VIII?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So picture that in Diablo 4. Like, it has a mini game and you can go compete against other people. Or like maybe like Pokemon Go that's in World of Warcraft. Like, they literally just copied Pokemon Go in World of Warcraft.
Like the pets thing? The pet battles?
Yeah, you catch the pets and battle the pets. It's Pokemon Go. If they put a mini game in Diablo 4, I'm okay with that. I don't really want them wasting a lot of dev effort.
That's where I think that's where the line is, because I feel like, in Lost Ark, there's so much stuff to do, but it's like that World of Warcraft. Like, there's so much stuff to do. Like, the Asmongold's of World of Warcraft, where they want to collect every single mount, and so they can spend all day logging in the World of Warcraft, and they got tons of stuff to do. But then the people like me are just like, I just want to fight. I just want to get better gear. I don't give a shit about any of the other stuff. Like, I don't have that much stuff to do, and they spend all this time developing that stuff.
I think it depends, because I think there's diminishing returns on just throwing dev effort at things, right? So like, let's say that like Lost Ark's combat is phenomenal, and I bet if you look at their combat dev team, it's probably not a shit ton of guys. It's probably like a small core of really good guys. And so let's say they had 20 guys making their combat systems. But if you threw 40 people at that, would it make it better? Probably not. You know what I mean? You're going to get diminishing returns on it. So could you throw more people into making like zones? Maybe, and mobs, maybe graphic designers and shit like that, maybe. But I think there's a point where it's like, okay, this system has as many people on it as we can get. And if we can't get what we need, I think you got to get higher quality people, And then you're like, okay, well, we still got like 20 people. Why don't we have them develop a card game? Or we got 20. So yeah, I'm with you. As long as you're not taken away from your core, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think mini games are fun to an extent, but if their game's suffering, then it really puts the focus on like, why are you spending money on this shit when your game's like, why is it not an NA? Take out the sailboats and take that money and buy translators and get this shit in America already, so
yeah.
So speaking of translators,
so the little Easter egg here at the end that some people might have seen is right at the end, with all ARPG fans in English. Why did you do that?
Why?
And so, they've teased, there's been like an unofficial, or not really unofficial, official Facebook post that says like they're kind of looking into globalization, they're working on it, quote unquote. But officially, if you translate their careers page, they are looking for a North America, Europe translator that has experience translating games.
Please. I would grind this game so fucking hard, man. If it came out in NA. I say that now. I might get bored with it. I don't know, but
sure.
it's fun.
And to kind of support this, they are, They are releasing in Japan with season 2 ready to go. You know, like right now they're in closed beta, and so they're just about to launch there. So there's a likelihood that NA would get season 2 and launch as well, which is good. You know, season 2 hits Russia, I think, this fall.
Yeah,
which will be really interesting to test. But yeah, I mean, there's more hope now than I think that there's ever been with all these things.
Yeah, I hope so too. Like, there's still this huge void, and I talk about it in my streams all the time. I'm like, listen, man, I love Diablo 3. I've played it so much, though. I need something new. I need a new game to grind, and it's like, WoW is my fallback because I love WoW too. But I want something new, and like, you know, all these new games are in the pipeline. Like November is going to be absolutely nutty. Like all the things we have. So
What's coming
November?
Wow.
November. Oh my God, we got. So PlayStation and Xbox consoles are both going to drop in November.
Okay.
End of November is the theories. So if they both drop in November, Halo is supposed to launch on the new Xbox.
The end of December.
Oh, is that what they're saying
it's
now?
like
It's
New
not
Year's,
going to launch
like
with
literally.
the console. Oh, that sucks. So okay, I was thinking Halo was going to be with the console launch, so that sucks. But so you got Cyberpunk's going to drop in November. The new Spider-Man game on PS5 is going to drop in November. Destiny expansion is dropping in November. Rumor is Shadowlands is going to drop in November. The new WoW expansion. You got shit, man. There was something else was dropping 2 weeks before that in September. I don't even remember what it was now. But there's like just it just isn't this not Assassin's Creed Valhalla is dropping in November. I don't even know, man. There's just like every game is launching in November, and then the reasoning is easy. It's because the new consoles come out in November, so they want these titles to launch with the new consoles. That way, it's not like, oh, I've already played that. Like it's going to boost their sales tremendously. So, and then I guess WoW's thing, if rumors are true that it's launching in November, is because to compete with consoles. I don't know. So,
I don't know.
but yeah, I don't know. So it's going to be nutty. It's going to be a nutty thing, but. All these new titles coming up, and I still like I just want more Diablo juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm with you, man.
It's just like I'm excited for all these games, right?
Yeah.
But like, damn, dude, like I want Diablo juice, man.
Yeah.
So like Lost Ark, I think to me, like I'm way more excited for Lost Ark coming to NA than I would be POE 2 personally, just because it's just my thing. So, that to me would be the biggest non-Diablo 4 release we could get. I think. You know,
I don't know.
I'm pretty hyped for WoW too, but
I would be very hyped for Lost Ark. It wouldn't supersede PoE 2 to me because I think, you know, like I said, with PoE 2, the content that they get every 3 months, you're guaranteed you're gonna have a game that you're probably gonna like for at least like a month. It's just solid. It's just a solid game. So like it's hard to beat that in my brain.
And maybe PoE 2 will be this thing that really gets me hooked on it. Like, you know, I played it a little bit this league too. I didn't play as much as I initially hoped. I wanted to kill Awakener. I might try to get back to it. But it just doesn't suck me in as hard as it does you. I don't know. It's fun and I don't dislike it. And when I play the game, I have fun. But I guess the difference is like I don't go to bed at night thinking about, damn, I really wish I had this or that or could do this or that.
I don't think so. You're not like unique in that experience, right? Like I think that's the natural progression. So like you've tried it now, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, I tried it like 10 times until it finally like stuck. It was just like that. Every single time I go back, I'd learn a little bit more. I'd learn a little bit more. I'd have a better understanding. And then eventually it's just like, it just clicked. It's just like, yeah. Like maybe it was, I'm so tired of the other shit that I'm playing. Or it was just like, the more you understand, the better time you have.
I go to bed thinking about like, damn, like I really wish I could do, like, what could I do better on my Resto Druid in WoW to get better? Or what could I do in 2K, like what kind of build could I put together to do better in neighborhood? Or like, you know, like all these games that I'm playing right now, it's like in Destiny and all these things. I go to bed and I'm like, I can't wait to try this thing. This idea pops in my head. And with PoE, I had a little bit this last time I played. I remember thinking I remember trying to big brain as I'm laying in bed, like the harvest stuff. I'm like, okay, so what if I like laid it out like this and I could do it? But then when I was in the game, I'm like, man, I don't even want to fuck with the harvest. I don't even want to do it, And I think that, like you talked about, the difference between new player that wants to experience the killing and the combat versus veteran who's done all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean,
but that being said, like I'm not shitting on it. I do like POE. I did have when I was playing it, man, I streamed way too late. Like I would start streaming it and I'm playing it and it's like, okay, I'm gonna stop my stream tonight at like 2:00 at the latest.
Right.
And like 2:00 would roll around and I'd be like, well, fuck, just a little bit more.
Right.
And then it'd be like 4:00, 5:00. And I'm like, sun's coming up now. Fuck it, man. Why even go to bed? I'm just gonna keep playing. So that did happen several times. So
I think there's something to be said too about like following a guide versus like making your own build. And so a lot of that is what keeps me up. I could spend hours and hours and hours inside of Path of Building being like, okay, like I made this build from scratch. What can I do to make it better? Like what items can I chase? What stats can I chase? Like, a lot of that is what kicked it in.
And I think some of that also comes with knowledge too, because like I still see people post things like, yo, check this out, and they'll link a yellow item like on Twitter or something. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. Is that good? I don't know why is that good.
Yeah. No, I still get that too. I see people like, oh, it's got T1, like, 5% increased strength. And I'm like, I've never played like a strength build. So I don't really know. Like, is that insane? Like, it's hard to
Zarya post shit sometimes. And I'm just like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like,
I'm like, wow, that's a really good roll.
And I look and I'm like, is something like, what's the thing? Like, what's the thing on that makes it so good? And it just seemed like basic stats. It was just like, resist to this, resist to that, and strength. And I'm like, that's cool. It's got all the stats, but there's no like unique perk that was just like, yo, you're gonna, rip somebody's head off and stick it up the other guy's butt. Like, there's no like cool ability on it that I was like, oh, this is the best item I've ever seen. Like, headhunter, I got like when people would be like, oh, I just got a headhunter. And then you read the description, you're like, oh damn, like that does some things.
Yeah,
like, I get it. It does things. But
it still blows my mind that Wilson had a skill on the skill tree called Headhunter, and it did exactly what Headhunter did. Just
really?
Like how can you?
They just straight stole it.
Is it like a nod and like we appreciate you? Is it like it's just literally copy pasting? I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah. Maybe like the other devs didn't play POE. They had the one POE guy, right?
Yeah.
And so he just like stuck it in there. He's like, they don't even know. They won't even know, So.
But yeah, that's super interesting news, I thought. And then in POE news, we got, because they're super transparent, we got kind of a timeline for when we can expect the next patch. A little delays on their end, but currently their plan is to announce 3.12, which Chris Wilson has hyped up like insane. He said that like this is something that they're like super proud of, and it's like, I forget the word that he used, but it's like it's a lot of work. I guess this is a big one. That's what they're saying. It's like very prestigious.
It's gonna be a good one. Big stuff.
But they're set to announce it September 1st, and with the launch happening September 18th.
Any hints at it? Like any hints at all? Like what it could maybe possibly be? Any like graphical updates? Any UI updates? God damn! Like seriously though, GGG. You got all like they put out so much shit. Do they not have a UI team at their studio?
We had someone in our Discord, like he was posting like, he's a UI designer and he posted like a new launcher. Like he just made it in his spare time. I was like, oh my God, that looks 9,000 times better than POE's launcher.
Yeah,
like, I don't do that.
I don't get it, man. But I mean, maybe they're under the philosophy of we're putting all our money into dev and content. Like fuck the UI, fuck the card games. Just like we were talking about. Maybe they're like, we're not going to spend money on this.
Sure.
I think UI could, man, that would be huge. I think for the game. I think if they got a new refreshed UI, that could go a super long way with the fans. So I know it would with me personally. It might draw new blood to the game. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they've done data research on that and people just don't care.
Yeah,
we were talking earlier about pay to win, and I said I put a note down because I wanted to talk about this.
Oh, I thought you had brought that up again.
No, I kind of forgot. But the hint that I wanted to talk about is I wanted to get your take really quick, since we've already hit this topic pretty hard. But what do you think about exclusives? And so here's the thing. Oh, Marvel's Avengers is also coming out in November, or
Okay.
maybe that was a September game. Have you seen this Marvel's Avengers game? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
Should I pull it up?
Yeah, can you real quick? Just
I'll
Marvel
try.
Avengers trailer or something, and there you go. So this is like a full-fledged Avengers game that's like badass and looks really cool. It's going to be multiplayer where like you could play as like, you play as Hawkeye, I guess, and I'd play as Iron Man.
This is like one
And
of those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style games. You're like fighting bad
yeah,
guys together.
yeah, you're fighting bad guys and going through stories, and I don't really understand 100% how it's going to work. Like if it's not like a MMO, but
Mm,
you can definitely multiplayer with your buds.
okay.
So I'm not really sure exactly. But this game is coming out, and like I'm kind of hyped for it, man. I'm an Avengers fan. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe they created is fantastic. I had comics as a kid, and not necessarily all the Avenger ones, but I was a huge Batman, Spider-Man fan. So getting to the point though, Spider-Man has been announced as an exclusive PlayStation playable character. And people are flipping the fuck out. And I'm one of them because I'm going to buy this on PC, man. I want the 144 frames. I want to put my badass PC to use. Even if I get a PS5, which I will, I'm still not going to buy this shit on PS5 if it comes out on PC. I'm not going to.
Is it never coming to PC? The
It's going to
Spider-Man?
be exclusive to PlayStation. There are some timed exclusives that are 30 days. Spider-Man is not included in that. There is no definitive when he's going to be available if. Spider-Man is the biggest fucking hero, dude.
Yeah.
Like that would be the one I would play first. Spider-Man would be my number one choice.
Right. I
Like
mean,
okay, let's
yeah.
answer that. Okay, so
Okay.
here's the lineup. You get everybody from the Avengers cinematic universe. We're just gonna. I don't know if that's the truth, but we're saying that's your choice now. Who do you pick to play? Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Spider-Man, because he's in the cinematic universe. Like,
I mean, do I
what's
pick
your?
myself or do I go with?
I mean, Captain America. Is that who you think?
I
Is your
mean,
pick?
it's such. I don't love my abilities. I'm just like strong and stuff.
Okay. So who are you picking?
Of like, I guess I don't because I don't know the comics. So am I picking somebody from the
Yeah.
movies and stuff, or
Yeah, we're just gonna go from the cinematic movies. We're gonna say that we're gonna because that seems to be the characters they focused a lot on because
okay?
those are the famous ones, right? The most famous ones now.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta go with like what I would think would be the strongest. So like probably something like Thor because he's like an actual god. Like Iron Man's
Yeah.
dope and shit, but like he's still
Yeah.
just a normal dude under
So
the suit.
Spider-Man's in there. You're not gonna pick. You're not gonna pick Spidey.
No,
You know
I
what I
still
mean?
think I would pick Thor over Spidey.
Okay. Like I gotta think if we polled, man, Spidey's pretty close to the top.
Yeah,
He's one of the
totally.
big boys, and
People love
for him to
Spider-Man.
be PlayStation exclusive, oh man,
Sucks.
Sony is the fucking king. Sony did this with Destiny so much, and I was a PlayStation player, so I had the exclusives in Destiny 1. I hated it though. I felt bad for Xbox guys,
Mhm.
and then and PC. What are your thoughts, man? What do you think about this?
I mean, I've hated this for a long time. So like, when I had that small stint where I was like, okay, Call of Duty's okay now because they came with Advanced Warfare and they had all this like advanced movement and like Call of Duty really like jumped on my map when that started happening. And pretty much right after that, I think is when they started doing the PlayStation exclusive. So PlayStation would get like they get released first, like 2 weeks almost before all the other consoles. They would get the new content updates, like the digital deluxe crap. They'd get
Yeah.
those like 2 weeks before, and that shit drove me fucking crazy. Like it's so stupid. I don't want to play
Yeah.
PlayStation. I have an Xbox, and yeah, I mean, it's terrible. It's such a
It's
bad
shitty.
feeling.
But here's the thing, man. If you're Sony, it's so
Yeah, it's
smart.
Yeah, sure.
It's so
They're
smart,
fucking
right?
evil. It's smart and evil.
Yeah. But the devs, like, god damn you devs. Like, don't take the cat. It's not the devs,
The company,
the
right?
company. Yeah. Like, don't take like is it that good? Is Sony like putting such a fucking offer on
Money
the
on it,
table?
yeah.
Is it like, yo, we'll give you guys like 500 million like for Spider-Man? Like, what is the offer that they just can't turn down? Is some CEO just getting a new Lambo, or are we talking like it's crazy, crazy cash? Because this is such a big
Well,
fuck
Sony's
you
always
to
been so
all.
fucking weird about their rights to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So
and well,
maybe it has something
maybe
to do
that's
with
part of
that.
the deal. Maybe
Yeah.
they own it, and they're like, "Yeah, fuck you, Microsoft. You can't
Yeah.
license it."
Right.
You know? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But
I don't
as a
know.
dev, when you be like, "Okay, well, we're just not gonna have Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
take him out." I don't know, man. That's such a big F you to the fans, though, and to the players, and it feels really bad, and I was so excited for this game because, honestly, like, I'm a huge Marvel fanboy. Like, I think the movies were phenomenal. I loved every Marvel movie that came out. I would go to the theater and see. My wife and I made, like, a event out of it. It was cool, and, it sucks, man, because 'cause I'm just like, "Oh, it kinda kills some of the hype for me." So,
Okay. So
because I
let me
know I'm
ask
gonna
you a
get it on
question.
PC.
This is a comic book stuff question, and it's been in the news a lot lately.
Okay.
Can you like translate what is this Zack Snyder cut happening for?
Yeah, so okay, so I don't know all the details. I'm not a huge comic book nut anyways. Like, I did definitely had them as a kid,
Okay,
but not I was into Batman, Spider-Man, and then a lot of Image comics like Spawn and Max and stuff, but not really crazy, right?
sure.
So as a young kid, which is a long time ago, but from what I understand, so Zack Snyder was the original director of the Bat or the um whatever the DC Avengers is called. I
Okay,
can't even think of the name right now.
Justice League.
Um, Justice League. Thank you. It was just slipping my brain. So Justice League, he was the original director for Justice League, and then something happened with his family. Like he had a death in the family,
Mm,
or something happened. His daughter had a baby, or I think it was a death though. But something happened, and he basically like stepped back from being director, and somebody else took over the director role, and then that person finished the movie and reshot a bunch of scenes and shit.
mm,
And basically, he's like, the movie was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. But I think he was like, this is not the way I would have done it. And basically, him saying this sucks. And so he took all footage that wasn't used and maybe reshot some shit and like rebuilt the movie. He just like redid it. So, but
interesting.
yeah, I don't know. Something bad happened and he had to step down. I don't know what
So
happened.
are they gonna like re-release that in theaters or like what? Do you know anything about that?
Chat saying his daughter died. Yeah, I mean, it was a
Mm,
legit reason that
yeah,
he stopped. I thought it was a death in the family too. Yeah. So like, which is crazy. So yeah, so I guess he fought for a long time and finally got them to like give him a little bit of budget or maybe even just the rights to make a Zack Snyder director's cut. And so I don't know. Like obviously he can't go
oh
back
shit,
and
this is like a
refilm his
PVE game.
script.
Sorry, this is like all the gear just popped up for this thing.
Yeah, yeah, this is like but it's not crazy. If you look
Yeah.
at it, it's like gloves, chest, and like a trinket
Okay.
item or something. It looks like it's not nutty. But yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be like a upgradable, like you
Loot and
get loot
shoot.
drops
Yeah.
and yeah, it's got some serious potential to be, fun. I don't think it's gonna be what we would consider like a super grindy game to
Right.
us, but like to casual players, this is like a definitely a level up style game, you know. Um,
Bigger
but
skill
yeah,
tree
man.
than Diablo 4. Yeah.
Oh shit, shots. So, um,
I love you, Blizzard. Please wait me.
yeah, we haven't, we still got time. It's
Yep.
still time to fix it.
I know.
I know.
And another PoE news. Zizarin just announced the PoE Racing Gauntlet, which is kind of like a community-driven competition for racing, where they're gonna have like basically a community PayPal that people can donate, and that's the prize pool basically. So there's that. I think that Ziz is giving like $500. I think some other streamers are matching, and then GGG is throwing in $500 worth of cosmetics
That's
and
cool.
microtransactions and stuff. But you basically, it's hardcore SSF. Be like a point-based racing event and runs for 8 days, starting August 22nd. The person with the most points attained by killing bosses and leveling up wins the take-home, or wins all the things. Wins
That's
everything.
cool, man. I think
Yeah.
that's a cool thing. I think I really like the PoE and the community based events. I think that it gives PoE enables the community to do so many cool things,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and they support it. And I think that's really awesome. And hopefully in PoE too, they can step it up. I would like to see. I feel like there's a select few people that are like good enough to ever win these prize pools. You know what I mean? It's like, are you the fastest hardcore leveler? can you kill Awakener on hardcore first? You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's probably like, if we're being realistic, like what's the pool of people that are even in the running for that? 50?
Yep. I mean,
maybe less.
probably 500
You know,
people. Yeah.
500. Yeah. You
Or
know?
so. Yeah.
So that's cool. It'd be really cool if the community could come up with ways to like maybe have it. I think skill is important, and I like those, but maybe have it a way to include more people. Like, who's the first? I don't know, man. I don't have the idea, but it'd be cool to see a broader thing where it's like, you know, where you're guys like you who are good at the game, but not maybe the best at the game, but like pretty damn good at the game,
I'm the best.
have a chance to win. Because like, if we're being real, like you don't really have a chance to win the leveling competition.
Well, yeah,
right?
because I got a full-time fucking job. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. But that's
yeah.
my point though.
Yeah.
My point is like you don't really like you're not in that running. Or like
No.
to kill Awakener 8 hardcore, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like you know, what ideas could they have to get people who are good at the game like you to maybe a chance to do it? You know? Like maybe it's like for the first week, kill Awakener, and if he the first person to get this random drop or whatever.
Some RNG
Which
involved.
Use some RNG, you know, and then you're like, well, fuck, I could definitely kill him in the first week, you know, and see if I get the item. You know what I mean? So, and then you could win. I don't know. That's just an idea. I don't know. I'm sure the community can come up with way better stuff than that, but it'd be cool.
What would you think about that? So say like, so EverQuest 2 did something like that. So if you're the first person to kill, X boss on your server, you got like a mythic that would never drop again. What if POE did something like Awakener 8, like if you were one of the first like 1,000 people to kill it?
Yeah, let me. I even got Destiny does this. So Destiny releases a new raid. If you beat the raid in 24 hours, you get an exclusive badge, an exclusive in-game cosmetic item that only you have, and nobody else can ever get that. If you kill them in the first week, if you kill the complete the raid in the first week, you get access to another cosmetic item, and then you also like they have like merchandise that it gives you a code that you can you can't even purchase it unless you have the code, and you can buy like a jacket that says like I completed this raid. And so for me personally, I've completed most of the raids the first week they come out in Destiny because I want the ability to buy that merchandise. Even though I've never bought it, I still have the emails with the code being like, yo, you can buy this if you want it. And I was so damn close to buying the jacket for the last raid. It was like $250 for this jacket.
What?
But it was I would never wear it in public. It's like it was a bomber jacket. It looked dumb. You know what I mean? But on the inside of it, it had like this really cool like mural and stuff. And it was just a cool jacket. And I'm like, I want it just because I worked my fucking ass off to get it. Like the raid was hard. My team, it was me and my team. Like it was guys that I play with all the time. And some of them, you know, we struggled at parts, but we did it as a team. And it was really cool for us as a group to complete it and do it. And I think that was like, it was just a thing, man. Like I'll remember that forever. Right. So I think that's really cool. So if PoE had a thing where it's like, okay, opening league for the first 40, how long realistically would it take you to kill Awakener if you like put your ass into it as hard as you could?
SSF?
Yeah. No, let's just say, yeah, we'll say SSF.
SSF Awakener 1 or Awakener 8?
We'll say, I don't know. What goal would you like to see?
I mean, it should be probably Awakener 8. Yeah, if I didn't have to work, I mean, I don't know.
No,
I don't know
right
what.
Now. Like you have to work right now. Let's like right now. How long would it take you?
I mean, it takes me like 2-3 weeks to get Awakener 8.
2-3 weeks. Okay. So let's say they put an SSF buff where if you kill Awakener 8 within the first month of the season, you got a cosmetic. You got some wings.
Yeah,
that's a pretty dope goal, don't you think?
Yeah, but that's actually not where I was going. I was going to ask you something else.
All right.
What if, say, the first 1,000 people that killed Awakener would have a chance at getting something, and then only one person of those 1,000 person gets it?
That's your raffle ticket.
It's like a digital raffle. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you think about that?
I'm dope. That's down. That's do it. You know what I mean?
All right.
So, and like Diablo could do shit like this too, man. Like, listen, we'd have to fix the botting, but let's say opening weekend, right? Opening weekend hits. Everybody that hits, Greater Rift 100 in the first 24 hours Okay, okay, that's maybe not a high enough milestone yet. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If you solo a 100 in the first, or let's say you group a one, whatever, 120, 130, whatever. Like those milestones, like that could be cool, man. You hit that and then like you get a thing, you get a pet, you get something, you know? So
I think that Diablo needs to make a conscious decision or draw the line in the sand about, like, you need to not give a shit about non-season. Like, just stop. Because like POE doesn't give a shit about non-season. Like it's a mess of like legacy items and stuff that gets carried over league after league. But you know, Diablo's like your non-season is kind of like your baseline.
yeah,
But it's tough to like add a bunch of new shit.
I think Diablo
because it
4
rolls over.
could really do a lot of those things, man. And like some of the tools, like the Borderlands 3 Twitch integrations that they had for Twitch, where like you could be fighting a boss and the chat could restore its health, or you could open a loot chest and then everybody in chat had a chance to get one of the items that you won from that loot chest. Things like that, man, I really hope Diablo 4 embraces that, because I think those interactive things for content creators are so cool. And like Destiny did a thing. They made a tool where if you donated 2 gift subs to a streamer, that you got an in-game badge, which is like a portrait frame, would be the equivalent for Diablo, just to support the Diablo streamers, man. That's like Bungie had no money in it. Like they weren't making money on this, but they're like, our content creators are the shit, man. Let's support them. So if you donate 2 gift subs to any content creator, then you get in-game cosmetics, and then they got subs, so you're supporting them.
Sure.
You know, I think to me, man, that's super cool. As a streamer, man, that's like, dude, that's so fucking awesome of Bungie to do that.
Sure.
You know, so I would love to see Diablo do this shit like that someday.
Maybe they would for their golden boys.
I'm still getting on that list, man. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, trying to. But yeah, that's all I have. Really, a lot of RPG stuff going on right now.
Do you have any fluff hates? I got some loves. I might have touched the loves, so I can go into the loves if you don't, or you want to think about it.
Yeah, let me think about it for a second.
Okay. So on the ThaPChild loves, and I might have already used this one. This happens. This comes up so often. I don't know if you do this with your girlfriend, but if we're out in public, like I love to just kind of like harass her a little bit or do things that would like annoy her. So like we'll be walking and I'll be like, "Good job, babe," and I'll just like smack her on the butt, and she's like, "Oh my god, stop!" You know what I mean, or something like that. Or I'll just be like, "Come over here," and I'll like put my arms around her and just kind of like PDA a little bit, and she gets like embarrassed about it at times.
Sure.
And it just is absolutely hilarious. But today, we were walking. We would go for a walk around our block or whatever, and it was like, so we're, I say our block, it's like our neighborhood. We actually go kind of far, but we're walking around, and there's this couple out in their driveway, and they're kind of just watching us, just like, they're not like staring like we're doing something wrong, but they're just, kind of being nosy, just kind of, it's like they're just kind of watching what we're doing.
Sure.
So I kind of scooted over and just kind of put my hand on her butt a little bit, just to like kind of show off for the other couple that was watching. And she just like, she walked off and like punched me in the gut so hard.
Damn.
And I was just dying. It's funny because, I expected it, right?
Sure.
But she kind of got me. And I just think it's hilarious, man. So I don't know. That's it. That's my ThaPChild loves. I just love
trolling your wife.
Just trolling my wife, man. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, of course. It's always fun trolling a significant.
Do you have a troll that you constantly? My troll with my wife is some of you guys know, some of you guys don't. We're an interracial couple, so most people don't assume that we're together, right? If we go out, we get asked a lot, like separate checks, things like that, even though we both have wedding rings on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I love to troll people, and we'll be standing in line, and if I think somebody's ear hustling our conversation, I'll go, "Hey, did you tell your husband about us yet?"
Nice.
And oh my god, she gets so embarrassed and so pissed off at me. That's my number one troll. The reactions I've got out of that, oh my god. I had a security guard at the airport. I dropped her off at the airport one day. She's getting out of the car. Security guard sitting there looking at us. And he's like totally, like paying attention to us, like just eavesdropping on our conversation. And I go, hey, when you get back home, make sure you tell your husband about us. I'm tired of hiding this. And his eyes, he just goes, his eyes got so big, and she, oh my God, she's like, he is such a liar. Don't listen to him, and was like pissed off. And it was so funny. What's yours? What's your troll for her? Do you have one?
I mean, I'm sure she could answer the question better than I, but like I'm just never serious. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it's funny.
Yeah.
What do you hate?
Gosh, everything.
Okay.
No, I mean, gosh, there's just so many
Go
things.
ahead.
Like, how do I
Okay.
pick one? I mean, obviously the masks. Like, seeing people. Like, I went to Chipotle tonight to pick up to get dinner because we're both super busy today, and to go in, got the mask on, and the guy's like, she's like, okay, what do you want? And he like pulls down his mask, be like, oh, I want rice,
And you're like,
and beans.
dude.
Like, are you fucking dumb? Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole point. Is when you talk and when air comes out of your body, that shit's covered up. And like it's the same thing with people walk around with the fucking nose out all the time, right? Like, have you seen that meme where like the guy's got like his dick out of his underwear? Like, you wouldn't wear your underwear like that. Why is your fucking nose out of your mask?
I haven't seen that meme. That's funny though. Oh my God.
It's ridiculous.
That's funny that you say that because we went to a party, and like a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, we were at his party, and his wife had on a mask, but she had it pulled down under her chin. And so like it was just like on her chin the whole night. And I'm like, why did you wear it? I don't even understand why you have it on. Like, nobody else here has it on. It was like a small group of people. We all kind of know each other. We all talked ahead of time, like, hey, have you big guys been kind of quarantined? Like, is anybody feeling, anybody know anybody that's been sick? And like everybody's like, no. And so we're like, okay, we're just gonna do it. We'll just kind of like keep a little distance while we're hanging out. And she had the mask on for like 5 seconds and then took it down. And it's just like, take it off. Like, what are you doing?
It's like the people that were like, oh, I support, like they'll have like the pink ribbon bumper sticker or something, but they've never done anything in their life to like really support breast cancer like awareness.
Well, you're supposed to only get that for like a donation, I think. So maybe that was their.
It's so we went to, like, we were in South Carolina, trying to be as safe as we could, and we went to a breakfast place, and there's just like a waitress, like everyone's walking around fully masked, but there's just one waitress that's walking around delivering people's food, and she's just wearing it around her chin. I'm just like, that doesn't do anything, right? Like, it's not the thought that counts, it's fucking wearing the mask. So
wearing the mask that counts.
Yeah,
oh my
so
gosh.
stupid.
Let's jump into some Twitter questions. If you guys want to submit questions, I did a bad job of promoting it this week, so we only have a couple. But if you guys want to ask questions, you can drop them in our Discord. You can send me DMs on Twitter, or those are the good places, man. Discord or Twitters. And make sure to check all those right before we go live every week and get the latest and greatest ones. Maester Magus says, at ThaPChild, you just brushed your teeth. What is the worst thing you can drink afterwards? Milk, OJ, or lemonade?
Wait, we have options?
I guess. He says milk, OJ, or lemonade. I'm going to say the worst thing, and then I'm also going to pick out of his three.
Okay.
I would think OJ and toothpaste is a weird combination.
OJ is very weird.
Yeah, it doesn't taste normal. No. But I don't think OJ gives you that bad aftertaste.
It's awful.
You don't like the OJ after?
Yeah, that's the number one for me. Like the lemon, or the lemon is just like, it's more tart and it's like, it's not good tasting. But the OJ, like, it completely metamorphs like the flavor, and it's awful. It's like feet and.
OJ's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I would say of that list, I would say OJ's probably the worst.
Yeah.
But of any drink, period, coffee, man. If you brush your teeth and you drink coffee, like, coffee's a thing. Like, it just kind of, it's just there. It's always like coffee mouth is just
like coffee. Like, you like coffee, like a milkshake.
Yeah, well, of course. I don't. Yeah, I'm not drinking like you like coffee too.
I mean,
I'm not drinking black
coffee. It's not
coffee.
white like you.
No, mine.
Oh my god!
I don't have my coffee in here. I left it in another room. It's not that bad.
You sent me a photo. on Twitter that one time. I was like, holy shit, that is like it looks like that, you know, that Hershey syrup that's like the malt.
Yeah.
So it's like it's white but the tiniest
No,
like brown
that
tinge.
was a little creamy colored that day. That was one of the rare batches.
Yes. Okay.
No, I do like it a very, you know, light
Barely any
colored
coffee. Yep.
but yeah, barely. But yeah, coffee mouth is kind of a thing. Like I really do like to, I don't know, get that taste out of the mouth. What's worse than those three, man?
I think that's a pretty fair assessment. Like the orange juice for me, I think that's the. I mean, I guess I don't eat a ton like after I brush my teeth. I'm more of like a evening time brusher than I am a morning time brusher.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I always shower at night before I go to bed. Like that's kind of a thing.
I don't do that because I get bedhead like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I do in the nighttime, but like I wake up and say,
showering after bedhead's usually pretty good. It's usually kind of, you know. What kind of bedhead are you talking about?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we keep this
you listen, you
can we keep this professional?
I mean, you just put Lindsay on blast. All right, so the next question comes from Langenberg. He says, ETA on the next patch info and PTR. He's like, what are your thoughts? Like, when should they start giving us info on the next patch for Diablo?
When should they? I mean, already, I think.
Well, it's only been a month, right? So
yeah, but look at POE. Like, they did already. So,
did this season?
Diablo started. No, I guess it started after. So 2 weeks from now.
This season started on July the 3rd. So it's been 1, 2, 3, 4. This is it's been a little over 4 weeks.
POE started 2 weeks before Diablo.
Yeah,
and they just announced. About it. So I guess 2 weeks from now, if they would give us dates, that would be.
Listen, Diablo or POE has hard set in stone their date. So like, just don't hit that date. Diablo,
please. Yeah.
Like you know it. Like just Yeah. Would you rather Diablo come out after or before POE?
Well, I mean, I want it to be equal, so it's not that one's coming out before the other ever. It's like they're both at their own pace, and it's exactly a month and 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's not like, ooh, POE starting right after Diablo or Diablo starting right after POE. It's just like, oh, POE starting. Oh, Diablo starting. And they're perfectly incremented. That's the dream.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know. Like, in all honesty, man, I enjoy Diablo. I still love Diablo. The season faded for me after about a week. It lasted about a week, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I'm still playing it. I'm still having fun playing it. But like the hypeness of the season lasted about a week. Now I'm playing just to do alts and to have fun. And I've been playing hardcore. I kind of switched over, and I actually enjoy my hardcore now more because I haven't played hardcore very much historically. So to me, it's kind of a new experience as to like, okay, well, in softcore I would do this, but that'll get me killed. So I definitely need to switch it up and do something else.
Sure.
So that's been fun. Yeah. Hex says, what's the most interesting reason for a breakup you've ever had? Do you have any like interesting reasons? Like you dumped somebody because they had bad breath, or like, you know?
I mean,
you told me about
you told that.
Yeah.
I mean, bad breath's not really a strange reason. Like, especially after you like, you know, let them know.
I broke up with a girl once because she talked too much. She wouldn't shut up. Like she talked 24/7, and it was like to everybody, to every single buddy. And there were so many times in my head where I remember thinking like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give like I would just keep repeating that in my head, like they don't care. Shut up. Yeah. She would never shut up.
Yep. I definitely had that too. It's like there's something to be said. Like you're having a good time, you're out like with other people, and then like maybe your significant other just like says some shit. They're just like, goddamn, like no one asked, no one gives a shit. Right. I mean that's definitely a thing. I've definitely broken up with girls in the past because like they just like it. And I think that's a pretty common problem in the States is that people always try to find ways to talk about themselves based on what they're hearing around them. And so it's just like, oh yeah, that reminds me. Oh, that's like when I, like if they're saying me and I and myself and like, that's how every sentence starts. Yeah, I think it's a problem. I think it just kills conversations. So.
Yeah, I remember this person talked so much, and I was just, I just, there was a point where I remember sitting there, and I was kind of like, they were having a conversation with complete strangers. Like we were out at a restaurant waiting in the waiting area to sit down, and they started a conversation with a complete stranger, and we're talking. I don't even remember what the conversation was, but I remember thinking like they got to be thinking, "Oh my God, please shut the fuck up," because I don't know you, and I'm thinking, "Please shut the fuck up. We don't know them, and like I don't want to know them. I don't want to talk to them." And I just remember thinking for like 20 minutes, like, "Please shut up. Please shut up. Just please." And then that was it. That was the breaking point for me. And then after that moment, all the time I would notice, like, dude, she really never shuts up. And then so after like a month, I was like, I can't, dude. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. You know,
Yeah.
like I thought you would change, and maybe you were just like, you know, you'd chill out. But
yeah, being a bad conversationalist, I mean, it's kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
'cause you gotta like take that people, like that person, like to work functions.
Yeah, man. To like all your family.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, dude.
Stop talking about yourself.
Yep. Kyle says, what is your childhood celebrity crush? What was your childhood celebrity crush? Going way back, like way back as a little kid, it was probably Stephanie from Full House. Like when I was super little, like we're talking like, I mean, when was that? 80s? I probably would have been like a little kid, like, you know, 5, 6. I don't know.
I'm having a really hard time like remembering.
And then for the longest time, it was Alyssa Milano, dude, from Who's the Boss. We're talking like those are my childhood.
Oh, Eliza Dushku.
Wow,
that just name just popped in my head. She was like, there was like another Slayer on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't watch it, but like my sister watched it.
I gotta Google her
like,
now.
Oh my God. I remember like I was somewhat young. I'd be like, wow, she's really hot.
Eliza. Oh, there she is.
Back in the day. I don't think that I would think she's attractive now. I don't even know what she looks like. I can't even remember in my mind's eye what she looks like.
She's okay. She's not bad looking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was that, and then as a young adult, it was Natalie Portman. Like, so this was like, you know, when I was like a senior in high school, Star Wars came out, the Phantom Menace, and that's where I was introduced to Portman, and so she was my number one for a long time. And
she was off limits for me. That was my brother's number one.
Oh, was it? Okay. How dare you, Christian Bale?
Christian Bale. I thought
Christian Bale was number one.
Right? Really?
Yeah, this is number one now. Yeah.
But then it was like Kate Beckinsale forever.
For
the longest time. Woo. Yeah. Serendipity and Beyond, it was over.
Keira Knightley was my after Natalie Portman one.
So. Keira Knightley, duck face and all.
And then the girl from Avatar, Zoe.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's 10 out of 10. She might still be, man.
The same. She's in the Avengers, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
I see you.
She's hot green too. I mean, you know, whatever. You could paint her blue. She's still smoking. I'll Captain Kirk one. You know.
True.
That's it, man. That's all the questions that we got this week. If you guys want to submit more questions to the new meta, you can hit us up on Twitters and in the Discords. The links will be in YouTube. If you watch live, you can !point Discord in chat and get the infos. So, easy mode. GG's, man. If you want to catch more of me, you can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the places at ThaPChild. Tonight, I'm not going to be streaming because it's my anniversary. I'm going to go hang out with the wife.
Wow, dude. Just suck it up.
Yeah.
Just have her come on the stream. It's no big deal.
Yeah, maybe. You know?
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you boys next week. Peace out.